This is the Nicole Harris Podcast. Welcome to the Nicole Harris Podcast, and today I have a very special guest joining me all the way from London. And you guys, I am so super excited to have him with me. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Okay, so should I call you Mr. Two Drinks?
Call me whatever. You can call me Mark or Two Drinks.
Okay, and so I guess the nickname, is it self-explanatory? Do you keep two drinks on you?
Basically, the name came from my good friend, and basically, I'd done a dance, and I had 2 drinks in my hand. So
Okay.
that's how it came about.
All right, that's cool. So, you know, I want to welcome you again to the show, and I just want to take the time to say thank you so much for taking this time out to chat with me today.
That's cool.
So I'm fascinated by London because anything is better than the U.S. I guess if you live there all your life, then you're always interested in what other people or how other people live. So,
Yeah.
if I could, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions about London and where you're from, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so what part of London are you from?
I'm from a place called Shoreditch. It's in the verge of like very city, so it's like very like West End, like lots of places to go out. There's drinks, there's restaurants, there's everything.
Oh, cool. I'm a foodie. I like to eat. What are some of the things, some of the staple dishes that you guys eat that I probably wouldn't necessarily be able to find here in the U.S.?
That's hard to say because because it's very multicultural, we've got probably everything. We've got from Indian, West Indian, Nigerian, Greek, Turkish, Chinese, like basically everything.
Everything.
But
so what is the street food like? Is it basically the same thing?
Street food, like there's so many street food markets and some of them are really good.
Okay.
So it's a mixture of everything.
Okay.
Definitely a mixture of everything.
Okay, so Mr. Two Drinks, I have to ask, what's your favorite drink?
My favorite drink, it's probably Disaronno and cranberry juice.
Oh,
It's very sweet.
Okay, then I'll like it. Okay, and so I follow you on Instagram, and I see that you're a photographer.
Yeah.
You do amazing work. Let me just add, all of the pictures that you take, your passion really comes through. You're taking pictures. What is it about photography that drew you to that profession?
Well, first my friends kind of draw me into it, and then after that, I just found a love for traveling and taking pictures.
Okay.
And then like meeting models and taking pictures of models and making them happy kind of like was just a boost, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you're taking pictures, is that basically what you do is models, or do you have other things that you're interested in when you're doing photography, or is it just models?
No, I try and do a mixture of everything. Like I don't try and box myself into just one particular genre of photography. I like to do landscape pictures. I like to take pictures of buildings, strangers, and just try and capture a moment, really.
Yeah, that's what I really like, when it's just kind of like not planned, I think those are the best ones.
Definitely.
And so, I follow you on Twitter as well, and that's the part that I really love, because you definitely are a hip hop head. So, I was like, okay, this is fun. I really learned a lot from you all, especially from you and your love of hip hop. I mean, you guys, it's like, I like hip hop, but you guys are very knowledgeable about hip hop, and I think that's dope.
Yeah.
But before we get into the hip hop, I saw that you had a podcast, and that's what initially drew me to you. So can you tell me a little bit about your podcast, Different Strokes?
Yeah, basically, it came about like us three guys. We was on a different podcast, and that ended. And then we thought, you know what, we do like to talk a lot. So we came back together and said, you know what, less about celebrity stuff, more about our personal experiences, and whatever's happening we can kind of like speak about from our perspective. So it came about that way, and it's kind of like therapy for us. Like, we just jam, catch jokes, and just talk.
Yeah, and the podcast is dope. I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Listening to you guys is really good. And having podcasts, is that something that is starting to catch on, or?
It's definitely caught on big over here. There's a couple of people that I know that are literally signed to Spotify. They've got a great following, and there's studios that are specifically for podcasting now over here. So it's definitely a big business right now.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of like us. It just kind of exploded out of nowhere. It used to be, when I started season 1 of my podcast, it wasn't that many people doing it, and now it's like celebrities are podcasting now, and I'm like,
yep.
Wow.
They're popping up like hotcakes.
Exactly. And I'm just like, well, okay then. But it's good. I like to listen to different people's views and what they think and what they have going on. So I think it's really cool. And so we're going to definitely get into this hip hop. So I need to know, first of all, before we get started, I need to know, and I actually retweeted you the other day when you kind of got on people and you were like, some of y'all are just making lists just to make lists. But when I think about your top 5 or your top 10, I know that you're not just doing it out of popularity. It's because you genuinely have been following these people's, art, and you know a lot about it. So when I ask you, it's because I really, think it's going to be good. So can you tell me your top 5 or at least your top 10 MCs?
My top 5 or 10, in no particular order. I have to put Jay-Z there.
Okay.
Jay-Z's there because he basically was the blueprint. Basically, I think of him as the golden boy, as in he had the streets and he had the commercial success as well. And that's very hard to do.
Yeah.
But he also had lyrics galore, and flows. I'm a person who's very passionate about, I get bored of rappers who have one-dimensional flow.
Yes.
And for me, that's Rick Ross. He's very one-dimensional. You're going to get from him.
Right.
So, Jay-Z's up there.
Okay.
One that's not a surprise to my friends, but maybe a surprise to other people, Royce the 5'9".
Okay.
I've been following him for a good long time, and his last album, The Book of Ryan, for me was a masterclass. It was very personal. Production was great, and the content was amazing, and he's got bars and flows for days.
Yeah.
So he's definitely up there. Fonte, I don't really hear his name get spoken about too much, but Fonte, the fact that he can sing and rap, and he does it in such a great way, and obviously they just dropped the Little Brother album, which I'm enjoying a lot. So he's up in there. Rhapsody. She's definitely up for female who can bar people to the point where you're like, rah, okay. And obviously her connection with Ninth Wonder, so she's got beats.
Right.
She's got beats, good production behind her, so
yes.
Rhapsody's definitely up there. Redman, I'm a big fan of Redman, been a big fan of Redman since his first album dropped. Yeah. He is wacky as hell.
Yeah.
But he's got bars.
Yeah.
He's He's definitely got bars. Another one, because I've seen him live probably nearly every time he's come over here, is Busta Rhymes. I don't think Busta Rhymes gets the credit he deserves.
Absolutely
as a lyricist and as like the hits that he has,
right.
And the albums I'm loving.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick Lamar is obviously up in there.
Okay.
I just think he's amazing. Like, his albums are a body of art, mm-hmm. and every album is different from the previous one.
Yeah.
So and I love his love for hip hop. Like, you can tell that he's proper in love with it.
Right.
Honorable mentions is probably, like, I love Benny the Butcher.
Okay.
I think he's gritty. He's got the streets, and I love the Griselda team. Like, I think that they're a big machine, and they're doing underground street stuff.
Yeah.
On a great surface, and there's him. There's Conway. Mm-hmm. There's Western Gun, mm-hmm. and like, I've been screaming this guy's name for a while now. RJ Payne. Mm-hmm. For me, is a monster.
Yeah, he is.
And I say this because the way he spits, it's like from the depth of his soul or something. Like, you hear everything he spits.
Right.
So I'm glad that he's on the Griselda. Like, he's with Benny the Butcher now, so he's getting more attention now, right. And I love that. Right. So, but there's other rappers that I think are dope. Like Mickey Fax, I don't think gets enough props. Mm-hmm. For his lyrical ability, but yeah, I think that's a good.
That's a good list. That's a well-rounded list. I definitely agree with you on a lot of them, especially, of course, I love Jay-Z. The Black Album probably was my favorite. Rhapsody, yes. Definitely Redman. And Busta Rhymes, like, I am a huge fan of Busta Rhymes, like, you know, from back in the day to, you know, up to now, he's been consistent. And I agree with you. He totally doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. And I think Redman doesn't either. I love Kendrick Lamar as well, and RJ Payne, he is definitely dope. I mean, I just think he's a lyrical genius, you know. I don't think I've seen, you know, the raw talent that he has. I haven't seen that anywhere else, you know, in the last couple of years like that. So he is definitely before his time. So, yeah. And so, what are your thoughts on the state of hip-hop right now? Are you loving it? I mean, a lot of albums just dropped, especially like last night. So what is your feeling about the direction that hip-hop is going in right now?
There's parts I do like and there's parts I don't. But even down to the way we consume music now, I feel like it's hard to keep track of what's coming out or what's out and how we listen to albums. Like, say if like 5-6 albums come out on a Friday,
right.
And you can't tell me you listen to it once and it's a classic.
Exactly.
Like, it's not. Like, give it time. Like, before, when we had CDs and stuff, you had time to sit down with the album and listen to it and proper digest it. Yes. Now it's just streams and you just skip, press play, put it on the playlist, and you hear 1 or 2 songs. So I find it very hard to digest albums the way I used to.
Listen, I totally agree. That is my thought exactly. I mean, I have, you know, Apple Music, and it just basically sends me an email when music has dropped, but I do not have the time to. It seems like last night, everything dropped all at once. You know, Lil' Kim.
Yeah.
Who else was it? It was like 4 or 5.
I think Wale's dropped as well.
Exactly.
Casanova, I think, is dropped as well.
Right. And it's just like, and I was trying to listen to a little bit of hers and a little bit of, Lil' Kim. Now listen, it's my era. That's where I grew up. And of course I love Bad Boy and all of them, Biggie and Diddy and all of them. So, but Lil' Kim, I kind of feel like
she's trying to ride the train. the current train right now.
Yeah, and that's the part that makes me so mad, because the thing that I feel about with Nicki Minaj, I feel like that she totally took, you know, basically Lil' Kim's style.
Oh yeah,
so, because back in the day, Lil' Kim was so dope, you know, and I feel like she should have kept that realness and that rawness that she had back when she came out, because it's really just like not coming across anymore, because it seems like what you said, she's trying to keep up with like mainstream, and it feels like it doesn't feel authentic, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But then think of it, like when Lil' Kim was around, there was so much different competition as well, and all female MCs were, you know, they wasn't always competing with each other. There was a good amount of MCs then. You had Lil' Kim, you had Foxy, you had so many different female MCs back then.
MC
but
Light.
Obviously, yeah, and Nicki kind of like woody-footed her way in and kind of like was the only female that literally had commercial success. Mm-hmm. And now she hasn't. She's like moaning that she deserves this and that. There's a bunch of female MCs now. There's every doll, this doll, that doll. You know, there's obviously Cardi. There's so many female MCs now, so it makes it a bit more healthier now.
Yeah, that's true, the competition. But you know, I really think this album that she just dropped, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm you know, just. But I really
it's not gonna be old Lil' Kim.
Lil' Kim, right? And I feel like if she you know, I'm not gonna totally write her off. I just, if I could, as a fan, if I could say a little bit of advice, I would just say go back when you started and kind of like think about that and incorporate some of that, because that's when, you know, we was really feeling her. So, yeah, it's kind of sad, but what do you think about? Did you get a chance to listen to anything of Wale?
No, I only heard I think the song that he done a video for and another track, like an Afrobeat type of track, and I was just like, I'm like Afrobeat, I know is a big thing over here, and it's Americans are now getting onto it now, and I feel like it's one of them trends now. It's a trend.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely check out the Wale album, but I don't know, with Wale, he's hit and miss with me sometimes. Like he's a great lyricist. Mm-hmm. I just think he's always trying to catch that radio success sometimes.
Yeah. And I think it's the first one. I'm not sure. I can't even remember the name. I don't know if it was Sue Me. I don't want to say
his first single?
His first one on this.
I think it's him and Jeremiah, I think.
Okay. And that
the song with him.
I think, you know, hearing it one time, like I said, I was trying to like really cram everything in last night. So I only got a chance to hear like the first song. This first song that he just dropped last night, it was the first one, and it sounded kind of hot. I really like the message that he was portraying on that. I'm gonna go back and listen to that again, but I really thought the first song was pretty good. But you know, a lot of reviews from Twitter, they kind of hard. Y'all hard on people. Y'all really.
Yeah, Twitter's not the place to be when you drop an album as an artist.
It is the hardest, and I'm just looking. You know, I laugh, but you know, I think that everybody should have the opportunity to go listen, you know, for themselves. So I'm definitely going to check out the rest of it. Are you a Casanova fan? Do you listen to him?
I would listen to it. I'm not the biggest of his fans. I think he's got something about him, but it depends if he's shouting all over the album. I don't know.
Yeah. Enough about us. What's some of the good? What about the good MCs that's in London? I saw that you recently caught a couple of concerts over there. So let us know who should we be looking for then, you know, in London that's coming out.
Definitely, there's an artist called Kano. Some Americans would know because I think obviously some people are now catching up with Top Boy in the UK. That's like a big TV series over here, and he's one of the actors in there as well. Kano is he's kind of like a grime but hip hop ish MC, but even Jay-Z says that he's his favorite UK MC.
Wow.
And Chuck D as well, actually.
Oh, okay.
So he's looked upon as like one of the greats, and for me, he is. Like lyrically, his body of work, I would definitely say check out Kano. Definitely check out Ghetts, and he goes by Ghetts or Ghetto, and he's one of Kano's boys, and when them two on the track together, it's dangerous. Like the flows, the patterns, like them two are literally the Jadakiss and Styles of UK,
wow.
and Ghetts and Kano are definitely for me probably the best MCs you can get over here. Wretch 32 is another one.
What's the name?
Wretch 32.
Okay.
He's a poet. Like he's so silky with it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like amazing. He's amazing. Like he's very clever. He's a very articulate MC.
Okay.
Very, very articulate. Another one. Some Americans know of her. Little Sims.
Little Sims.
Yeah, like she's down with Black Hippie, so she's down with Kendrick and all them lot.
Oh, okay.
And she's a female MC to definitely, yeah, she's big, and she's collaborated with a few Americans as well. Like she's collaborated with Sir, okay. She's collaborated with a couple of people, so definitely check out her stuff. Our artist called Chip. He, back in the day, he was actually signed to T.I.'s label.
Oh, okay.
So he did a stint in Atlanta for a bit, and then he came back over here and he just started to kill it again. Like he's lyrically, he is definitely one of the top three.
Okay.
Honorable mention is, I think a lot of Americans now know of him, Giggs.
Giggs.
Yeah, he was on Drake's album.
Okay.
And he was on Swiss Beats' latest album as well.
Oh.
So he does a lot of stuff. They call him the landlord of hip hop in the UK, and yeah, he's one of the big ones in the UK.
Okay.
And he's collaborated with a lot of Americans, and he's collaborated with Kano and Ghetts and Chip. So yeah, there's a small unit of tight MCs. Like it's great. Like UK music at the moment is so highly up there, and I think it's because of social media and YouTube. And sometimes I go on YouTube and you've got a lot of Americans listening to UK grime and hip hop, mm-hmm. and reacting to it, and it's amazing to see like they get it. So yeah.
Yeah. And, I was listening to a little bit of the concert, and I was like, wow, okay, this is definitely dope. So I definitely want to check out, more of it to see, what is going on, in the UK, especially for rappers. This has been very interesting. I really enjoyed the conversation. I really want to be able to, collaborate with you in the future. If you have anything, coming up that you want to share on the podcast, I would love to have you back on.
For me, I'm cool. Like, if there's anything you want me to do, I'll probably do it. Like, I'm cool at it. Like, I enjoy connecting with different people.
Yes. I can tell, and that's the part that drew me to you, because I was like, okay, he's very open. You give your opinions on there, but it's like you're not gonna bash me. So I was like, I'm not gonna be fearful to come out and talk. But you definitely give your opinion, and so I appreciate that though.
No worries. So, you gotta be truthful. You gotta be truthful to yourself.
That's true.
That's the way I see it. Like if like you have an opinion of an artist that you think is your favorite, then ride strong for that. Like I can't fault no one if they think such and such is the best. That's just their opinion.
Exactly, because I'm just gonna run with Nas. Like I don't care what nobody say.
The only thing I'll say about Nas is his beats. Like his beats just. I just wish he would just select better beats.
Okay.
And better choruses and hooks. That's the one thing.
Well, who do you think would be a good producer for him?
I think DJ Scratch would be a good producer for him. Apollo Brown, probably a good producer for him. Because it's weird, the last Nas song I liked, it was produced by DJ Scratch, and that was Echo on the Swiss Beats album.
Yeah.
And then I thought, if Nas does stuff like that, I was like, you know what, I'm sold.
Yeah.
And then he dropped the Lost Tapes too, and I was like, oh, we're back to the crap then, I guess.
No. I love the Lost Tapes. I think I'm just gonna love anything that Nas does, because anything after Illmatic, it's just like he kind of like, for me, he stamped my approval with that, and so I just put him up there amongst the legends. So
yeah, don't get me started on a Nas debate. It's not healthy.
Okay, well, you know what? We'll leave that for another podcast then. But thank you so much for checking in with me. I really appreciate you, and I really enjoyed it. And, like I said, if you have anything else coming up on the podcast or anything you want to share, then definitely drop back in. We'd love to have you.
Great. Yeah, definitely. I would love to be back.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mark, and I really appreciate it. And take care until I talk to you the next time.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in again for the Nicole Harris podcast. I truly enjoyed the conversation with Mark. And if you want to check out the rest of this podcast, you can go to my website, and that is the NicoleHarrisPodcast.com. And until the next time, I'll see you out there. Peace.